about the Messi thing.
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done.
I'm falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But back. Welcome to Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 110 of the Battle Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada. Alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Listen, at least we got some soccer this week, right? Some football.
Are you really excited about it? I'm not.
I'm excited about it. It's good to see our team back in the pitch. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited.
It doesn't feel like our team. Like, half of them are gone on international duty. The games don't matter anymore. It's a makeup game. Like, I don't know. It just I don't know. I feel like once we officially got eliminated from the playoffs, my excitement died down.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, but at least it's going to be fun to be able to see these last two games play out, and then, from there, figure out what the hell we're going to watch.
Well, that is something I plan on asking you a little later. What are you going to do? But before we get into that, we had some news today. Gregory's back, kind of.
Yes.
Now, I know you're happy about that. We're going ahead. We signed him. Was it till 2025 with the option for 2026?
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's great. I think it's great that they're investing into Gregory. I mean, Gregory's a big part of this team. He's
not this year, but usually.
Yeah, typically. I mean, this year he got injured, and we tried to find better defensive play elsewhere with Dixon Arroyo, which I thought was kind of grimy. But it's good to bring our boy back in the fold. Everybody's gonna go crazy when he starts or when he plays, right?
I would assume so. I mean, I get it. I get why we re-signed him, because he's a stud back there. But he makes DP money. We had to buy him down, right, to make space for Busquets.
Yeah,
I'm okay with David Ruiz growing into that role. I mean, maybe I'm on an island there, right? Because I know Gregory is technically better defensively, but
yes,
maybe I'm biased towards the homegrowns, but I like the way David Ruiz plays in that position.
I mean, I think it's good for growth, right? I mean, it's good to be able to see what David Ruiz pans out to be, right? But I mean, at this point, I think it'd be great for him to learn from a defensive juggernaut like Gregory. And
I wouldn't say juggernaut, but yeah, sure.
I mean, on this team, right? And then a good distributor in Busquets. You have like sort of both sides of like the CDM role. So I mean, those are two players to really look up to and learn from. So I think it would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, first of all, I need to address this. Gregory and Mota, not better than Ruiz and Kramaki. And maybe I'm not a big Mota guy. Maybe that's what it is.
You're not,
I really think I'm not. I don't like. I felt like his best form with us was like the 2 or 3 games right before he got injured this year. But before that, I've never been impressed by him, and he's definitely not a CDM, like at all. Right? Gregory is a CDM. Mota is like 8.5. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I don't know. I'm much more fond of Ruiz and Kremaki.
I mean, but you're looking at like the upside of the future, right? That's the only reason why.
Like right now, I'll take David Ruiz over Mota right now.
Like, you're talking about skill wise. You're talking about like what they'll contribute
what
to
else
the.
Do you want?
So you think that Ben Krem is better skill wise than Jean Mota? Oh, Bruno just gave you that yellow card, bro. I mean, at least you got Sean on your side. Sean Callahan's just letting us know Mota is trash.
Yes. Well, look, I'm with Mike V. Look, I'd take Ruiz over Mota because I like what what Ruiz gives me defensively and offensively. Mota, I mean, he's a great passer, I guess.
But you're making the wrong comparison, though. If you think about it, you're going to have to compare David Ruiz to Gregory, and then you're going to have to compare Mota with Ben Krem. Because Ben Krem and Mota are a little bit more offensive-minded,
Okay.
Whereas Ruiz and Gregory, they kind of chill back sometimes. I mean,
Okay.
aside from
You're right.
Ruiz being a little bit more offensive minded.
You're right. And to that point, I'll say fine. I'll definitely take Kremaki over Mota, 100% without a doubt. And then the Ruiz Gregory thing, okay, I'll give it to you right now, this moment.
It's like,
Gregory, I would prefer him as a 6 over Ruiz. But if we're talking about a 3-4 year contract, I wouldn't mind giving it to Ruiz and letting him grow. And I'm thinking, and obviously, right, like we're gonna have more money to play with, right? Sanctions are done, salary cap might go up, so maybe the money won't be as big of a factor. But Gregory, he gets paid like a DP, and I don't think he plays like one. Like you don't want to put DP money into a CDM, and we already got money into a CDM. Busquets, obviously world class
yeah.
CDM. Like I don't know. I look. I'm happy to see him back, and it's not my money. If you can figure out how to make it work, Gregory's awesome. But I mean, I'd take Ruiz right now.
Well, I'd love to see the figures, like how much he got signed to, Gregory, because I'd like to know like what is he getting paid in terms of like where he's going to fit in the contract. And look at what Tank is mentioning. Mota's one of the most technical players we have with good football IQ, and can also take set pieces. Also is one of the few that aren't afraid to shoot from outside the box.
He is definitely
Right?
not afraid to shoot up from outside the box, which isn't a good thing.
I mean, that
He's
is a good
in
thing.
his 2 years, he's made one of those. That's it. Just because he could take them doesn't mean he makes them. I am good with him never taking another one again. His IQ, like
Wow.
I said, he is a good passer, which is what you want from your midfield, right? You want somebody that can link up passes. But
Yeah.
honestly, defensively, he gives me nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's not
And
bad defensively.
yeah, he's horrible defensively, and you cannot pair him up with Busquets because then there's nobody back there. Nobody. That's why I'd rather have Arroyo back there. I'd rather have Ruiz back there. I'd rather have Gregory back there. Mota contributes nothing defensively. I want nothing to do with Mota unless he has a 6 already back there. That's why the Gregory Mota combo kind of worked, because Mota really didn't have to worry about defending too much, right? He had the freedom to roam because Gregory was holding it back down there. Look, I'm just not a big Mota guy. I just what it is.
I get it. You're kind of a hater, but like when you have a guy that's willing to just go balls to the wall and just blast it from wherever on the field, I mean, I think
that's why you like him. That's why you like him.
I think it's a good trait to have, especially when you got a bunch of guys that don't want to take a shot. Like Robbie Robinson, it's going to his left side. It's a wrap. It's never getting in the back of the net.
Well, I mean, yes, I guess there's positives to him not being scared to take the shot. It's just there's a reason why other players don't take the shot, because they know they won't make it. He just doesn't realize he won't make it until he takes it and doesn't make it. Again, I've only seen him make it once. That's it. So whatever. But yes, I'm glad that Gregory's here. Yeah, well, look, we're gonna need depth with all the games we're playing next year. We're gonna need depth. So all the players that we can keep and sign that are contributors, I am all for it. So Gregory's back. Yeah. That's always good.
And it is until with the option of until 2026. So as far as money is concerned, I don't know how many dollars is going to be going to him. I guess that's going to be released later on. But for the most part, 2025 with an option of until 2026. So.
And Mike V chimes in, we don't have anyone that shoots from far. Okay, but that's because they're not good at it. Mota is also not good at it. Like if it were to constantly get saved by the keeper, if he would hit the post or the crossbar, like if it would be somewhere on target, like good, keep going, right? You're not gonna make it unless you take it, but it's field goals. He's never anywhere near. Like I just don't want to see him do it.
Well, and speaking of contracts, I just want to go over this, and I know we're probably going to save this for like another episode here. If you don't mind me just kind of glossing over all the people that are going to be expiring by the end of this year. So we got Joseph Martinez. Robert Taylor is also expiring this year. Ulloa is going to expire this year. Robbie Robinson's contract as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dixon Arroyo extended. It shows here that he has it until the end of the year, but I think that he extended, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Ian Frey also is until the end of this year. Edison Ascona, Ryan Saylor, Felipe Valencia, Cole Jensen, that new goalkeeper that we have, and that's it. That's all I see here for the people that are kind of getting their contracts done for this year. Dunzos.
Well, we're gonna need obviously. There's gonna be a lot of players coming in, like every year. Every year
Yeah.
in soccer, you get an influx of players coming in and out. Like, do you want to talk about the players that you think that are on the way out?
Well, I mean, and speaking of players on the way out and on the way in, upside down with Chris is mentioning Suarez and Modric coming. Oof, those are some things. I mean, there's always a possibility upside down, always.
I think that Suarez is coming, even though I'm not a big fan of him coming. I think he's
Ooh.
coming just because of his relationship with Messi and all the guys. So I think that's happening. Even though I'm not a big fan of it, I'm sure he'll score and I'll be happy. But I'm not a big fan of the move. The Modric thing, I don't see that happening. A couple reasons. One, we don't know if they're gonna add a DP, and if they
Yeah.
do add a DP,
The
that DP
MLS you're
starts with,
speaking.
yeah, the MLS.
Yeah.
And if they do add a DP, it might be one, and that's going to Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez isn't going to come for pennies. Like, he's going to get DP money.
Yeah.
So Modric isn't going to come for pennies either. He's going to need a DP contract. So that's
Yeah, of
one reason I
course.
don't think he's coming. Two, Modric is pushing like 40. Like, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's up there. Like, I get it. Like, he's world class, and we want world class players.
Yeah.
But at some point, like, can we put like an age limit on this? Because like, I don't look, he's 38. He's 38 years old. So not 40, but he's 38. Like, at some point, like, when you have players that are of that age, they're gonna start breaking down. And I don't mean just skill-wise, I mean health-wise. Like, can we really trust? Look, Suarez with his knees. Look, like Mike V just said, Suarez with his bad knees, because he's on the wrong side of 30, right? He's pushing late 30s. Modric also pushing late 30s. Messi, you saw he got injured just now. And he's very durable. He doesn't even run on the pitch, but he got injured.
Hey, be careful.
Jordi Alba, early 30s, also got injured just now. Like, that's what happens when you have players that are in their mid to late 30s. Are we really going to keep signing these type of players? Like, I understand that they're world class, but let's lower the age a little bit, just a little bit.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Danny. We did an episode a couple months ago talking about how we want all these viejos out of here, where we wanted to get younger and not older. Do you remember that episode? For those of you that are watching, if you haven't seen it, go back into the archives and check it out. I know you're not going to do it, but just in case you guys get bored or whatever. Ed Barta is mentioning 30 is the new 40. I hope so, Ed, for all of our sake.
Yeah, I'm pushing 40 right now.
Well, and many people mentioning in the comments that Robert Taylor just might be the next Lewis Morgan. If he leaves this team and he becomes a monster, oh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
But you don't see that happening?
Of course, I see it happening.
When is his contract up? Do you have it in front of you?
This year, it says December 31st, 2023.
Oh, so he's a free, like he's free to go.
Yeah, it says contract option, the club option 1 year apparently.
I think he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, he's got, let me tell you, I think at this point, it's probably the highest that he's been in a pink jersey his whole career here. His whole time here. This is like the highest where his value is, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. If you would have ended the season at the end of League's Cup, it would have been the highest, right? It's maybe taking a little notch down after League's Cup, but man, he was on fire League's Cup.
Yeah, he's going to the Premier League. And I'm exaggerating, but yes, you get what I'm saying.
Look, I don't know who's looking into him, but I am 100% sure that there's a chance that Robert Taylor ends up in Europe after this season. He'll find a home somewhere. Like, he's got enough eyes on him right now. They see what he's capable of. We've been calling him Neymar Light for over a year now. I wouldn't blame him if he goes. Like, he knows that he's not going to get the same play with Porzuelo.
Yeah.
He's not going to get the same opportunities now that Farias is there. You know, Luis Suarez shows up.
Yeah.
Campana's still here playing forward. Messi. You got who else we got? It's going to be a slew of players all of a sudden vying for forward positions. I think that he is the odd man out. As much as I hate to say that, because I like Robert Taylor so much, I think he is underrated. But I do think that he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him being gone because, like I said, his value at this very moment is the highest it's ever been, and maybe quite possibly the highest it's going to be, unless he has like a complete banger these next two games. Which I don't even see that happening because he's going to be off on international duty if I'm not mistaken.
So he'll play
So
Saturday maybe.
yeah, yeah. What's up, Richard Greenberg from the north behind the wall?
The thing with Robert Taylor is that for a team that needs depth next year, he's the ultimate utility guy. Like in baseball, you could put him in
He
first base, second
is,
base, third base.
yeah, all over the
Yeah,
place.
he plays right back, right wing back, left wing back. He plays left wing, right wing, center forward. I don't know if they've ever put him as striker, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put him out there. Like he can play just about everywhere. So that's the kind of guy you need for what we're about to witness, we're about to go through next year with all those games. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if they try to keep him for those reasons. But I think that he wants to shine, and I think that he realizes that his opportunities to shine are going to become few and far between now that he's
Oh
fighting
yeah.
for time with all these other players.
Well, I think Saturday is going to be nice for him. I think it's going to be a coming out party for him. I mean, I guess we'll talk a little bit about that when we break down some of the Charlotte stuff. But I think it's going to be good for him.
All right, well let's go on to the next one, which here Jean put so eloquently. I don't want Joseph. He is useless. That's strong words. I don't think he's
Yeah.
useless. Um, I've been, I guess, one of the few Joseph fans this year. I know he hasn't produced like we want him. That definitely wasn't the Joseph of 2018.
Correct. Yeah.
But I think Joseph plays well for what he does.
Oh, you're going to get
As
destroyed.
as yeah, I know. As a striker, you want him to finish, so I get it, right? But when you have Messi on the team, and I know before Messi got here, he still wasn't doing anything. I get it, but I feel like he was playing well. Like the runs he was making, the balls he was delivering to Messi or anybody else, I thought he was playing well. But he wasn't finishing, which is what you ultimately want him to do. So I get it. I don't think he's back, and that's another one that I'm pretty sure is gone.
So you think he's? You know what I see, Joseph? I see him being like a MLS journeyman now. I think that's what's going to happen to his career. He's just going to journey around the MLS for teams that are needing like a quick striker fix, like
Like
a
a like a
Kamara.
Kai Kamara.
Yeah, like a Kai Kamara. I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. And he's going to come in and he's going to destroy you. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick of football. That's what he's going to be. The Ryan Fitzpatrick of football. For those of you, I'm talking about a quarterback that played American football for like 74 teams.
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, by the way.
I do. Yeah, he's awesome. I'll take him right now.
If Joseph comes for a TAM deal, would you keep him?
That's a good question. For a
Because right now
TAM
he's a
deal?
even though we're technically not paying him the DP, he's getting DP money, right? Because Atlanta
Yeah.
picked up that bill. If he decides like I'll take a pay cut, I just want to keep playing with Messi, would you keep him as a
I mean,
backup?
that as a backup, I would. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you have Scheider Borgelin that's playing in the USL right now. I don't see him coming back. I mean, unless my boy Emerson Rodriguez decides to make a comeback, then you're done. Get out of here, Joseph. Because
Why are you
Emerson's
guys using
coming to
that
town,
thumbnail of Messi? Because the season's over.
and we're still talking about Messi. Like we said, Messi like 4 times, Grace, and we're gonna say it like a couple more times. Messi.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm not sure how we're hating on Messi. We haven't really talked about him too much, but okay, all right. So I wouldn't mind having Joseph back as a backup striker if he would take a pay cut. I'd be down to have Joseph back.
And you were just talking about, and for Grace saying that we're haters, we were just talking about how well Messi and Joseph started
Click
looking
up.
playing together. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know where the hate comes from, but
I don't know either.
I missed it. It went right over.
I'm okay with Joseph coming back if he were to take a cheaper deal, but I don't think he will. So I really do think Luis Suarez ends up here. I think Campana and him end up being the two strikers. I don't know if they'll play a two-striker set. Probably not, but that would
Yeah,
be interesting to see. Farias obviously staying, Messi staying, Busquets, Jordi Alba, Ben Krem's gonna have time. Gregory's obviously here. I mean,
Miller.
I I think we'll get some new players, maybe Luis Suarez, maybe one other like decent name. But for the most
Yeah.
part, I think a lot of our team we're gonna see back next year.
Yeah, I mean, no, most definitely. And the best part about it is that that's going to be able to help us next year with like the cohesiveness, instead of having all of these like other new pieces that are coming onto the team. The good thing is look, like we mentioned before in other shows, right? I mean, this year it wasn't necessarily like a boom or bust year, right? Whatever we got
No,
this year is kind of like on the house, I guess.
especially the way the year started. Um,
Yeah.
and Caredi, I'm sorry, said looking at Argentina, the way they play, precision passing is something to improve in this team. I
Oh, for
agree.
sure.
I agree. We need especially Kremaki is great, but sometimes he turns the ball over a lot, and I get it. We need a better midfield as far as connecting passes.
Yeah.
But when you play in a league in which they have a salary cap, which I don't think is going to go away, I
Yeah.
mean, you do the best you can. Like if we could get like a Modric and then have a Busquets there with a Messi, could you imagine that
We're gonna
midfield? Like we'd be great, but we're not going to be able to afford all that with Luis Suarez up top. Like that would be a dream, but in
um,
this league, you can't afford that.
well, and
Um,
yeah, I mean, some of these guys are gonna want more than a burger and fries. Come on,
yeah, and
guys.
then and do we think that? I think that the rules are going to change, but not drastically, because I
Yeah.
think that the appeal to this league is that there is parity. So you're gonna have good teams, but then a team that's on the bottom last year could all of a sudden be in the top next year, and
Yeah.
that's how it is in just American sports in general. We want parity. Teams that think we don't want anybody to go into a season thinking we have no chance, right? So for
Yeah,
the
of
most
course.
part, they like that, and because of that, I think they might increase the salary a little bit. I think they might add a DP, but I don't see this in any way changing drastically. Like I don't think they're gonna get rid of the salary cap altogether. Like if they were to do that, that would be insane. But I highly doubt that anything like that happens.
Well, I mean, let's talk a little bit about what could possibly bring those. Well, do you want to get to this comment where Tank is mentioning that we need Alan Ruiz and Komaki as young super subs to exhaust the opposing teams in the final 30 minutes?
Well,
I
I
mean, I
love that.
yeah,
Fullbacks generally, especially in this uh in this scheme that Tata plays, they're dead. Like they usually get subbed off at some point. I would love
yeah,
Noah Allen coming in for Jordi Alba late in the games. And then the whole Kremaki and Ruiz, I agree. Kremaki, I think, has looked his best when he's come on as a sub. That's when he's
yes,
looked his best. When he is full of energy, everybody's 60 minutes in and they're starting to get tired, and then he's just running all over the place. I think
yeah.
Kremaski would be a great super sub right now. And then same thing with David Ruiz. I agree with Tank. I think that those three coming in as young subs next year, if they can add veteran pieces into the starting 11 consistently, right? Because we're going to play so many games, Kremaki, Allen, Ruiz, they're all going to start a lot of games also because there's going to be a lot of rotation going on. But in those big games, I would love to see them come on as subs.
Oh, well, look at this. Mike V is mentioning LGP's contract with River is over. With River,
I don't think we
he's
see him again.
he's coming back. Yeah, he's gone.
No, I
Forget
don't think you're
about
right.
it. And we got Aviles. Like, I mean, Aviles is gonna grow into the starting role over
Do you think
Kristoff, I
Kristoff
believe.
stays
I think Kristoff stays. I think that
as the backup?
yeah, I think that he'd be okay with playing a backup. I don't know where else he can be able to get money. And on top of that, with everything that was going on in Ukraine, I imagine that this is a pretty nice place for him.
Yeah,
Comfortable
that's
for
right.
himself and his
That's right.
family.
He brought his family over. That's right.
Yeah, so I think for him, he's probably going to be looking at this a little bit more than just the dollars, right? It's
Yeah.
a little bit more about the quality of life. So
Yeah, I think you have a point there.
now I want to mention how we're going to get some eyes on this team because we're going to China, baby.
Yeah.
And the China tour is coming, and I put up a picture. I have it here. And we're going to be going to 2 different locations. I can't really read it from here, and I'm not even going to try to read it because then I
Yeah.
might
Please
get
don't.
canceled.
Yeah,
So
don't try.
we're going to be so apparently, let me see, because now I need glasses. We're going to be
It's
playing,
November
I believe,
5th and
November.
November 8th.
Yes, 3 games. I mean, 2 games.
2 games.
And I wonder what time is that going to be at? Like,
I think it's like at 3 in the
we're going to be
afternoon
like,
or
are we going to be watching this like while we're asleep?
3 in the
Jeez.
morning. I thought I had seen somewhere that the times. It was definitely early in the day. It was early in the day, and I don't know if we'll be doing post game reactions to that. I don't even know if we can see the game. Like, where would we even watch
No,
this?
well, that's got to be on Apple. That's got to be on Apple. And Danny, you're laughing at Richard Greenberg's comment. Battered Heron's road trip. Listen, Richard, if you can be able to finagle like a private jet for us, by all means, we're all taking the road trip.
No, it's funny. My brother was supposed to go out to Japan, and he was really had his fingers crossed that coincidentally Inter Miami would end up in Japan somehow while he was there.
Yeah.
No such luck.
No way.
This is obviously, man, I don't want to say money grab, but there's going to be a lot of money in this whole tour.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
have you seen the way China, when the NBA players go to China, how they react? When Kobe used to go,
it's a shit
LeBron's
show.
out there. It is crazy, crazy. They're going to be walking around like
it's a shit show.
absolute rock stars, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be a cool experience for the young kids, and and they're getting, look. We're out of the playoffs. They're gonna get 2 games in November. After that, they won't play another game probably until like January or so, January, February. So I mean, I like it. I like it. The team's gonna make mad bread off of it. I can't hate on it.
Well, and I'm just taking the time while you're sort of filibustering here just to see who is on the roster for these 2 teams. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have looked at the rosters here, chat. I mean, I'm not going to try to say a lot of these names. I'm just going to let you guys know right now. So you're going to have to just hit Google. There are some players like
Did you expect to recognize any of those names?
I actually did recognize on the team that says what is this? Chengdu Rongcheng. There's Felipe, the forward for Brazil. I did recognize that name.
Okay.
And there's a guy named Andrigo, who's also Brazilian, and I recognize that name. Other than that, I mean, in the other team, I believe that there's also a Brazilian that I recognize. I think that one is the better team. The first team that we're playing, King Dao. Guys, I can't believe I tried to say these names. I mean, this is crazy. We're talking footballs and pitches. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if these teams are any good, if this is going to be like the Harlem Globetrotters of like soccer at this point. Like, we're just going to destroy them. So we're basically playing 2 Washington Generals.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if we get our butt kicked, I'm sure it's a bad look.
Oh, my goodness. That would be bad. There's no way. These guys are going to get paid off, right?
No, this is not going to.
I mean, these are friendlies. We're paying them off.
We should be able to beat them. Now, when you think about China and all the warehouses and how so many things are made in China,
yeah,
you imagine all the pink jerseys out there.
Oh my goodness!
China is going to be, whatever city that they're in is going to be pink for those 2 days.
Yeah, like it's going to be crazy. And the guys that are outside of Inter Miami Stadium, you guys got nothing. Because China's going to be out in droves for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys know when the Champions League starts? I am not 100% sure. I want to say January of 2024, but don't quote me on that. I do know that Inter Miami is already into the round of 16, I believe, because they won League's Cup. So we skipped the first round. So even if it starts in January, Inter Miami won't play until later on. Let's see. I saw a couple of new things. February 17th is in the Newells. Okay, so the new boys, that team that Messi used to play for, that friendly we got in
Yeah.
February. That's another game. Look, we're gonna get promoted everywhere. Like Inter Miami's doing a good job of promoting itself everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's Inter Miami has, in a span of, I mean, obviously we kind of knew it was going to happen, but it's become a global brand, and they're just pushing it even more with the trip to China, trip out to Argentina. We are global, baby.
Well, that's kind of what the idea was with all of this, and that's one thing that for sure was I imagine in the idea for the Moss brothers that this is really where they want to go ahead and get the global brand started. They want everybody to get on this. So, I mean, kudos to them. They made the right moves in order to do that.
All
I'm
right,
trying to
so
see when we start the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but I
the
can't
date
find the date anywhere.
the dates haven't been decided. If you want, go ahead and look at last year's schedule, see when the first game was, and that'll give you an estimate. Chris, while you were looking that up, I am going to throw a question your way. Leonardo here said we have to get rid of Tata Martino. He's not the answer. Do you agree?
I mean, look, with Tata Martino, you're asking me, and I'm going to tell you, not just as a Phil Neville lover or supporter, but like if you're bringing on if you're bringing on like a top tier football coach, I would expect him to do better than what he did this year without Messi. Like if you don't have Messi playing, I don't care if it's Messi or not. Like I think you need to do a little bit better. You need to be better. You're Tata Martino, right?
When did he? He didn't have much of a chance to coach without Messi.
Messi was out. How many games was Messi out? He
I
was
don't
out
know.
like what? I think it was like 4 games, 5 games.
Okay.
So like those are critical games that if we would have won, then we would be in a different place right now.
Yeah. Would you say that when he knew Messi was coming, he fixed his tactics and everything the way they played in the little bit of time? Because remember, he didn't have much time to prepare. He hasn't had an offseason or anything. He was building things as the season went on. Would you say that he kind of set this team up to work around Messi and Jordi Alba coming up the left side?
I mean, how hard is it to like put your
Very,
team
very hard
to work
Very
together
hard.
with the greatest soccer player of possible history?
Okay, but exactly. But once you miss that and Jordi Alba, all of a sudden, doesn't it become kind of difficult to be like, all right, 18-year-olds, come on, pick up the slack.
Do better.
Okay.
Do better. Like this isn't Phil Neville. This isn't your first, Phil Neville. This was his first opportunity to coach like a league team.
This is what I'm going to do, Chris. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a shirt that says "Show some fucking respect" and put Tata's face on it.
I mean, why? He gets tons of respect from everybody.
You're not giving him respect.
I'm not gonna give him respect.
And Leonardo's not giving him any respect.
No, get out of here, man. Leonardo, you know what? You get the dime a day, bro. You get dime a day. He's been disappointed with Martino's tactics. Listen, look, and Guschecki is saying, Chris, he needs preparation. Let's wait until next year. I want you to understand something, guys. For those of you that are coming after Messi, and I applaud you guys, great. But before Messi came, we had Phil Neville as a coach, and nobody gave him any time the moment that we started failing. No
2 years. 2 years wasn't enough.
It was four. It was
a 6-game losing streak last year and 2 separate 6-game losing streaks this year. That's not enough.
But you know what? He did decent without a Messi.
Decent?
He did decent, yeah. I mean, we also had Basuelo that came in last season halfway.
But you said that they got to figure it out, even if their star player is injured.
Figure it out. Figure it out. Do better. Tata Martino, who's coached several, not just Messi, but he's coached several guys that are like Hall of Famers, top tier players, top tier teams. He's won a championship. And you're going to tell me this is the best you could do without Messi? Tata, get out of here. Get out. Come on.
Won League's Cup.
I mean, no, Messi won League's Cup because you have Messi. Like, if you have Messi.
How
Come
many
on.
games? How many games that Messi didn't start did they have the lead? All of them. So I
Read
give
this
some
comment,
credit.
Danny.
I give some
Read
credit
this
to
comment.
Tata. Held to a higher standard. Give him the offseason. Give him 2 years like Phil Neville had. If all of a sudden next year he comes in and then Messi goes down for a month or two, hopefully not, knock on wood. But let's say he goes down for a month or two. Okay. Then Tata, yeah, you had a whole offseason. You set this team up. This is your vision. You better figure this shit out. But right now, like, when did he have any trainings? It was games every 3 days for the last 2 months. Like, I think you guys are being way too harsh.
Boo hoo. I mean, Phil Neville had to deal with that.
No, he didn't.
Phil Neville had to listen as a manager. Okay, listen. He coached Barcelona. Okay, he coached Argentina, Atlanta United for 3 years, won a championship, coached Mexico, Newell's Old Boys. Okay, like, come on. This guy's had a managerial career for the last like 30 plus years.
So respect it.
Get out of here. You had Sergio Busquets still leading your team, Papa.
I don't know.
Do better.
I think you're
Do
way off
better.
base. I think that Atlanta game they would have won if it's not for that phantom goal and that own goal. I think that you're not giving him enough credit. And then he got sacked in Mexico, but Mexico sucks. Look, what have they done since he left? That the country, the players, they're really bad right now. They're going through a really rough patch where they just have Pizarro was on that team.
Oh my God. This is the best comment of all time, Sean. And I'm going to read it just word by word, quote unquote. He has 3 of the best players in their position from the past 2 decades and can't make the playoffs in a league where half the league makes it. Bravo to you, my friend.
No,
I
don't
mean,
give Sean. That was a stupid comment, Sean. That was a stupid comment, Sean. No. That was a stupid comment.
That is amazing, Sean.
How many points were they behind? It's not like he started and all the teams that you're talking about that half the teams make it, all of a sudden they're starting from the same position and he wasn't able to get more points than another 9 teams. They were starting from really far behind. So no, don't give me that crap that he couldn't make the playoffs in a team or in a league where half the teams make it. They were in a big ass hole.
Do better.
Oh my God.
Do better.
No, you're talking to Sean. You're talking to Sean because that was a horrible comment.
Do better because I mean you had opportunities, okay? You had opportunities. You didn't win me over.
All right.
I got my eye on you.
All right. So I guess we could go talk about another team that's fighting to make it. But
critical losses.
Charlotte. We got 2 games against Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about them. Chris apparently is. We don't know who's playing right now because half the team is gone. And we have nothing to play for. I guess play the young guys, right? Do you think Busquets plays? You think Jordi Alba might be healthy now?
I don't think any of the older guys
I wouldn't play any of them.
I don't think any of the older guys play. I think at this point, just throw all the young bucks out there, let them get. In reality, I think that these next 2 games is the perfect time to put players that their contracts are getting close to ending, or you want some eyes on players that you want to get out. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's really what I think is going to happen.
I agree. And Sean, I did believe, but I'm not looking forward to these games, and it sucks because even when we were on our 11-game losing streak, I still wanted to watch the team. But like, I don't know, maybe it's because the season has felt like it was like more than a year long, and it felt like every 3 days we had a game, which was awesome, but exhausting at some point because now there's literally nothing to play for, and it's like, and then another thing, it's a Wednesday. And they moved the start to 8 o'clock instead of 7:30.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Like, you killed me. Like, it's hard enough to make it on a weekday, but now you made it even later. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be making it out there. I don't know. They could have made it a 7 o'clock start, 7:30 like usual. 8 o'clock. It's like Jesus Christ, man, what are you guys doing?
Well, and the worst part is that they do it for like a pointless game. It's not like this game really matters. Like
Yeah,
maybe if this game mattered, then 8 o'clock I guess would be better because then you want to make sure you get people out there. But like, dude, game doesn't matter. I
it
mean,
matters to
maybe for
Charlotte.
Charlotte,
Yeah,
yeah, for Charlotte, because Charlotte, what they got 39 points. If they scratch out 2 wins, they can
to make
possibly
the
hop
playoffs.
over and
Hmm.
and they can get the eighth spot depending on
Yeah.
what happens with other teams. So
Do you care about playing spoiler? Because me personally, I don't care about the whole spoiler role, but some people like that.
well, I know that there's some people that are in our community that dislike Charlotte big time. And
Really?
so I am, yeah, there's some people, and I want to make sure that if we do play spoiler, that Charlotte does get the business, because I mean at this point, like, who else are you taking your anger out on? What, you want Charlotte to win up against us? And like, who, like, what else is happening? I think spoiler or not, I think that it's going to be fun to watch 2 more games. I mean, it's just fun to see your team, and we might see our team without some of the older players. So it's going to be fun for a lot of the old time fans that want to see their guys play out the rest of the season. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually into that,
and
but I don't know.
Mi- Mike V's already selling his tickets so he could try to pay for the new season tickets. Oh, now you're trying to open up a completely different kind of worms.
And shout out to Joe Kerr. He got his believe shirt. I mean, I tried to believe, but we could believe again next year. We could believe again next year. But hit up the batterfans.com. Yeah, again, like we considered having somebody on to preview the game, but then I thought I really don't give a fuck. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like what are we gonna talk about? Like I don't really care how they could beat us or how we could beat them, because like whether we win or lose, it doesn't really make a difference. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it'd be nice to see our team get 2 more wins, right? I mean, just to feel better about the end of the season. And then especially if you play without Busquets, Alba, and Messi, I mean, that would make a lot of the hardcore fans very
You know
happy.
what?
And for those, yeah,
I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say that's a great point. That's a great point because hypothetically, we have nothing to play for, but Charlotte has everything to play for.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, let's say we win one or we win both games with just young players. That is a good look. That's a good strong end to the season. That does make
Yeah.
you feel optimistic about what you have on the pitch because you're playing against a team that's trying to make the playoffs and that is literally playing for something. They're going all out to win this game. So I'm with you. You know what? You changed my mind, Chris. You changed my mind. I am
Yeah,
looking
man.
forward to this game.
And you know what's got me looking forward to this game is that, and the atmosphere. Everybody's gonna have fun because it's back to like the roots,
Oh, I'm still not
seeing some
going.
of the home. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna go back to its roots sort of deal before Messi. We're gonna see some homegrown players. And for those of you that are kicking it in the chat and watching tonight, thank you guys so much for checking in. And do us a favor, just get that workout with the thumb, just like and subscribe and all that stuff.
And
We know
Chris,
you're subscribed.
do me and Giuseppe here a favor and stop talking about that.
I will, because he's out of here. He's done to me. Might as well have Morales coach the team for the next 2 games. He's a great coach, right?
Ooh, yes, Sean, thank you. If Tata pulls off the win against Charlotte, will you start believing in Tata?
That's a good observation there, Sean. I actually like that. That's a great question. And if he does pull out the win without any of the
No, just one out of the two, because it's 2 games. If he pulls
no.
out one out
I
of the
need
two,
I need both. I need both. I
that's
need both.
bullshit. That's
Be
bullshit.
be big, Tata. Be big. Be bold.
So
Get
you,
out of here.
that's bullshit. If he gets one of those with the young guns against a team that's playing their heart out to make the playoffs, you got to give him some credit for that.
He couldn't even get us to the playoffs with Busquets, bro. Couldn't even get us to the playoffs with Busquets. And now I'm
Busquets is
supposed to
technically a
give him
defender.
now I'm supposed to give him brownie points because he's gonna win 2 gimme games at the end of the year with homegrowns
They're
are still
anything but
good.
gimme games. Anything but gimme games.
Get out of here.
All right. Let's see. Where? Okay. So 2 Charlotte games going. I mean, you got me to maybe care a little bit. Now I'm kind of curious to see if Delta can pull this off because that'd be pretty cool. So
Yeah.
obviously I'll be watching. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the game though because I'm not driving an hour north to watch a game that doesn't matter with who knows who's playing, and then drive an
Yeah.
hour back south. So I'll probably be watching it from home. But once this game is over, Saturday is over, and the season is officially done, what are you going to fill your time with? Because we've had a lot to do, a lot to talk about over the last couple months, and all of a sudden it just disappears for 2 or 3 months. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, before I give you my answer, I have a question to you and to everybody else in the chat. Are you guys even interested in the playoffs? The MLS playoffs? Are you guys even interested in watching without Inter Miami in it?
I'll give you
I'm
my answer.
interested in that.
I don't. I watch if I know that there's a game on, and I'm just sitting on the couch, I'll put it on. But I'm not going out of my way to watch the playoffs when Inter Miami's not there. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's American football going on right now. Your New York Jets, what are they, 3-3 right now?
Yep.
Joe
Anybody's
Kerr.
If anybody's a Jets fan, we got a Battered Jets fans show. Joe Kerr right here bringing up the Battered Fins fans show. We got, if you're into basketball, we got the Battered Heat fans coming. Actually, we're going to premiere an episode later this week. So that show's getting started. Battered Marlin fans just dropped an episode earlier today. So you can keep getting your Battered fans content going. I mean, we're not stopping either. But if you're in the mood to listen to some other sports, we got some other stuff cooking also.
Yes. So, I mean, American football would be my quickest option, but I'm actually looking forward to kind of catching some series that I haven't been able to catch up on. So, I've been slacking in the streaming area. So, and Tank is mentioning here that he's still going to root for his old teams a little bit.
Who are your old teams, Tank? Just out of curiosity. I will tell you one thing that I do usually do once the MLS season's over. I finally start paying attention to the European season a little more, because once because I mean I need my soccer fix, right? My football fix. So once the Inter Miami season's over, then I finally start paying attention to the EPL, La Liga, and Champions League again, and that's what I'll probably be doing to fill my my soccer fix. So
yeah,
you need to get into the European League a little more.
I do. I need to watch it for sure. And not only that, but one thing I wanted to mention is the USL. I think they're going to be starting their playoffs, and Miami FC, as far as I know, I mean, they lost their last game. I mean, this isn't a Miami FC podcast or anything like that, but they didn't make their playoffs either. Look at that. Miami taking a shit. Same year. Can't even get your Miami football fix unless it's American football, baby.
No, it's still early in the season, but for sure, it looks like they're going to make the playoffs. They're probably Super Bowl
Oh,
favorite.
man, Tank, you're all over the place with your fandom. Fusion, LA Galaxy, Sounders, and Orlando.
I saw that.
That's insane.
Yes. And EPL is on a break this week, right? But they come back. If anybody's wondering, which I don't know if they are or not, but I'm just going to put it out there. I think Chris put it out there a couple of weeks ago. I am a Real Madrid fan. So when it comes to La Liga, I watch them. And because EPL is so popular, and that's all anybody ever talks about, I decided to pick up an EPL squad a couple of years ago, maybe 15 years ago, and that would be Manchester United, which is horrible at the moment. But those would be the two teams that I follow over there in Europe. So there you go.
I actually wanted to be like a Manchester City fan, but then I started noticing that everybody was like, "Oh, of course you want to be a Manchester City fan.
Of course, you want to be a Manchester City. The same reason you're at LAFC. Oh, that's my worst conference team.
No, LA Gala, yeah, the LAFC. But I like that because of Carlos Vela, not because they're like awesome. I think Carlos Vela is a really good player.
Okay, well, and then you like Man City because they're just always winning.
I don't like them yet. I have to like figure out a little bit more about the EPL before I start picking a team. But like that was the team I initially was like, I think I want to like this team, right? I think Raheem Sterling's on that team.
I don't know if he's still there. Like I said, I'm about to jump into the EPL now. But Raheem Sterling
Yes.
was a baller, and he was there. I know that's our friend Romain. That's his boy.
Yes. And I don't want to be like a top team lover either.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
okay. I'm okay with like getting in the dirt and liking one of these like
That's right.
lower level teams.
Right. So I forgot Raheem Sterling went to Chelsea. I remember Romain and Wilson were talking about that. So yes,
Oh
Raheem
yeah,
Sterling's
yeah.
it went over to Chelsea. That's Wilson's team.
Oh my God, Sean, you want to make me a Serie A team? Like, isn't there only like three good teams in that league?
Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan.
I mean, Juventus is like that team, right? They're like the
It
top
was.
team.
It was for a while, yeah. Oh, and we're randomly talking about other soccer, which by the way, I don't. Oh, and Roma. Thank you, Tank. I forgot about Roma. Uh, I don't mind talking world football. It's just we need Chris to get into it. But
I'll get it. I'll get
yeah,
into it, guys, but I'm gonna sound like a freaking like an idiot for sure. I'm not gonna have no idea what I'm talking about.
yeah, but it's fun. It's definitely fun. And Mike V just put out there. Pulisic went to AC Milan, and also he is balling in AC Milan. And thank you,
Yes.
Sean. Also mentioned Napoli is another team in Italy that we forgot to mention.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's a
that's
lot of.
five squads.
I guess. I mean, I'll get into European football at some point, guys. But a lot of people that watch these leagues, like they really care so deeply about their football. So, like, if I just hiccup in the wrong direction, I might get punched in the face.
No, I mean, the thing is, people watch this and they're, at least if they watch us right now, they know where you're coming from and they're a little more forgiving. Now, when you have those random people that just randomly click on the video and they're like, oh, what the fuck? What are these guys saying?
Yeah,
That's different. But if it's the people that usually watch us, I'm sure they'll be forgiven if you make a hiccup here or there.
yeah,
Look, like I said, I love watching all soccer, football. But when Inter Miami season's on, it kind of takes most of my attention, mostly because we do this podcast, really. So
yeah.
it takes almost my attention, but it's fun, man. And you know what the best thing is? That you wake up on a Saturday morning and it's on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
It's all day.
it's awesome because it's Saturday morning. Go ahead, you watch that and you're chilling. Like it takes up your Saturday morning. When I work on Saturday morning, sometimes I put the games on as I'm like it's a really cool thing to get into. And if you're not going to get into anything else, whether it be Serie A or La Liga, at least get into EPL, right? Like I started with Real Madrid because I coincidentally that was the first game I went to. I went to a Real Madrid versus Chelsea game. I watched Ronaldo hit a free kick. My seats were like right there, and all right, Real Madrid is it for me. But when I saw how popular EPL was, I was like, man, I got to get into this somehow. And because I knew that Ronaldo used to play for Manchester United, I was like, I'll ride with Manchester United, which was a horrible mistake, by the way, because they've been a battered Red Devils like podcast should be made. It's just I
No,
don't have
for sure.
anybody that's also a Manchester United fan, but that would be a fun battered podcast to make. And we are completely off topic, by the way.
Yeah, I'll get into the EPL. I'll get into footballs and pitches. I'll do all that. I'll probably listen on radio so I can see what kind of verbiage they use for stuff.
I will tell you one thing, and I know I'm sorry, and I apologize if anybody tuned in just to listen to Inter Miami. And then we kind of went off on a tangent. But one thing that I love about the EPL is the stadiums. I don't know
Oh,
why. I
want to go
love them.
out to a game.
I am dying to go to Old Trafford, the theater of dreams. Oh man, I'm telling you. Like when I play FIFA and I do the whole Ultimate Team, the first thing I purchase is my stadium. I purchase Old Trafford. So again, random stuff that we're here talking about, but yeah, it's really cool. And I just I enjoy EPL, so I'm looking forward to when they come back. Manchester United's first game back is against Man City, I believe. So there you go, you front runner mother.
I didn't say I'm the fan of their team yet. Okay, I'm still like open for business here. I'm a free agent fan. So
Chris, and by the way, have any of you guys? Oh my God, what Luton Town? Have you seen the Lighton Town Stadium, Chris?
Isn't there
We were
like
just talking.
there's like a backyard in one of the entrances or something like that? Like,
It's so amazing. Like they need to that they need to make sure that they stay in the top tier because I do not want them to get relegated because I want
yeah,
to see the top team and the top players in the world go play in that stadium. Like it's
yeah.
so awesome, 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 awesome. So if you haven't gone, Google Luton Town's stadium or entrance, and it is wild. It looks like it's when they're walking into that back entrance, it looked like they're in a backyard. It is so awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that person's never selling their house.
and Richard Greenberg asked, when is Battered Heron's podcast going on a hiatus? We don't plan on going on a hiatus technically, right? We were dropping 2, 3, sometimes 5 episodes a week at one point or a couple months ago. We're probably going to slow it down to maybe once a week while things are slow. Maybe pick it up back again in January. So for now, we'll probably slow down to once a week.
We'll be here
But,
for the post game on Wednesday.
yeah, and we're like I said, if I knew and if any of you guys are interested in talking EPL, I mean, I love all that stuff. So maybe we'll jump in on some EPL if Chris gets into it and some other stuff. But yeah, at this point we're just gas bagging here, Chris. So
Yeah.
any final thoughts or anything else you want to say?
It's time to get that dub on Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
and that dub on Saturday. And hopefully we can give a little bit more respect to Tata for being a Hall of Fame coach that just can't do it with Sergio Busquets to get us in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I just need to thank you, Keith. St. Louis City SC fan here. And you are all the best podcasts out here. Nice mix of those random conversations and Inter Miami MLS talk. We really appreciate that, Keith. We're not reporters. We don't have a media pass, which is really, really cool because they don't even pay for their tickets, right? They just get to go to the games and have those nice seats. But we're just out here to have fun, and we love our team, and we appreciate you sticking around with us and joining in on the fun. And St. Louis, you guys are looking pretty good. I know I always say Drake Calendar is one of the best. They literally have the best keeper in the league. So, good luck with that.
And they got Indy.
Awesome first. Awesome first season for you guys. So
that's
awesome.
Your boy, baby.
Yeah.
2 goals in like 5 minutes. Guy's a beast.
Yeah, and look, we love talking soccer. So, and Chris has loved falling in love more and more with the sport. So, maybe we'll expand to some other things. For now, we'll see you guys on Wednesday after that game, and we're gonna keep talking. We want to do some cool stuff. Maybe throw a little FIFA in there, here and there. So tournaments. I don't know. We just want to have fun. That's all we want to do. So, any final thoughts, Chris? I think I might have asked you that already once, but I'm throwing it out there again.
You did, but I'll just tell you again. I don't want to see Tata lose these games. If not, I'm firing him.
Oh, come on.
He loses 2 games, he's fired.
All right, and then, man, I got to throw out another one. Connor, appreciate you. Crew fan here. I was introduced to the pod from my friends over at Wiseman Podcast. Fell in love with the show. Hope you guys tune in. We appreciate you, Connor. We really do. All right. And the Battered Network is continuing to grow. Like I told you, we got the Heat podcast. If anybody here's a Miami Heat fan, I do a Battered Nets fans, but I know that fan base is of like a total 5 people. So I know you guys probably don't want to tune into that. Chris refuses to do a Battered Knicks fans, even though he likes that horrible team. But we're gonna keep expanding, and hopefully you guys come along for the ride. As always, go ahead.
No, the good thing is about the future, you just never know. I mean, Richard Greenberg's mentioning here to do weekly FIFA card updates. I might find a way to be able to record. Awesome. I'll record myself playing FIFA, and I'll just sit there, talk for like 5 minutes. We'll put it like TikToks or whatever.
Dude, you know how much money people make? This, like, if you go on YouTube and you put like FIFA tutorial, it's not even FIFA anymore, right? It's EAFC. If you put like tutorial or something like that, there's people that literally make money just like showing you like, hey, this is how you, I don't know, lob a pass. And they get like millions of views because the people just want, like, this is how you lob the pass. Hit the square button. Like, it's wild. And on Twitch, and man, like, you're missing out here, Chris.
And we're getting some love from Homestead, of course. Got to show some love from Homestead. And yes, Dennis, the Knicks. He was right. He didn't hesitate. The Knicks, baby.
As you can tell, he's embarrassed by his Knicks fandom because he refuses to do the
Oh my
podcast.
God,
But you
get
know
outta
that's
here.
that's a story for another day. But yes, and if you want to listen to the Heat one, we're gonna come on later this week, and I'll be announcing it on the Twitter pages. So if you are listening on audio, we apologize for randomly going on a tangent for the last like 10 to 15 minutes, but we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us a 5-star review, comment, subscribe, all that other good stuff. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. We appreciate you sticking around. And again, as always, if you were part of the chat, you guys always are the best part of the show. We appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour. Please like and subscribe. And on Wednesday, we should be back for the post game of a pointless game. But if we
Yes.
win, you better put some respect on Tata's name. As always, until the next one, have a good one.